people get involved in your campaign, they say, you know what, I love this woman, I love what she's doing, she's fighting for us.
And I expect all of you guys to get involved with conservative media and be heard today, tax April 15th, and again November, when we take this country back from the people that are trying to control you and make this into a socialist state. We're not standing for it. Thank you very much.
These people are speaking it out here. They're letting you know what's going on. All right. We've reached the end of the first hour already. Can you believe that?
No, I mean it goes very, very fast, and I can't wait.
Well, it does go very fast. So here's what you need to understand.
Tell me.
The TARP bailout problem is where this all really begins. In point of fact, I would point out that outgoing Congressman George Radonovich voted for the TARP bill.
Wow.
And admitted on this show that it was a mistake. And I said to him, "You won't do it again, will you?" And that's actually the last time I spoke to him. So there you have it. That's where the problem really begins. So you would expect conservatives to either have learned their lesson,
sure,
or to understand the destructiveness of the TARP program,
and at least address it if they're going to run.
There you have it.
Fair enough.
So if you say you're a conservative Republican and you took TARP money, I would humbly say to you, no, you're not, and you're about to hear about it right here.
Oh, it's going to get good.
Live on KFIV AM 1360 Modesto, KWSX 1280 AM Stockton, your home for Stockton Ports baseball. It's Dave Diamond along with JDV from Conservative New Media. He's hanging out here today. We'll be back after Fox News gets you up to date. Stay with us.
We should probably start with the unemployment stuff because I want to blow up that religion thing. But once I start on that, then who knows.
So how do I start with that?
I just
you get fired from your job. What do you do?
Right.
You file for unemployment.
Right.
And you get $2,300 a month. What if?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Right. If you're a waitress and you need the money, that's one thing. When you make $500,000 and you're supposed to be Mr. Conservative, and you already got bailed out, and you got a golden parachute, while other people are just losing everything.
Well,
and you came from a bank that was part of the funny money loans.
That's a good point.
We're ready.
You know, he probably needed the money. He probably needed the money.
Oh, of course.
Rich people have lifestyles too.
Yeah, right? He has to tip his chauffeur or something.
Yeah, dude. Actually, I have a hilarious story about that. Hot chicks and computers and webcams, if we have time for it later.
That's definitely news you can't use.
We're talking politics today. We're talking congressional race. JDV is here.
Yes.
We'll get in with him in just a moment. We're going to take a self-named, self-described conservative down a few notches, put a big old dent in the side of that nice, shiny campaign. When people say, what's that dent? It's Afternoons Live. Navigating us to the...
Now, I will say this very quickly, that, I do have a kid in this race. I might even have a couple kids soon in this race, clients rather. And, the Brad Goehring's a client of ours. However, me being on this show right now, this is all my own personal opinions.
Yeah, I invited you in here.
You invited me in here. It's all my own personal opinions. I'm not representing any campaigns or anything like that. This is not endorsed by anybody else or anything like that. No one told me what to say. I've been saying, we've been talking, offline about this, and you know me. Nobody is going to shut me up, and I'm going to say exactly what I want to say, and we're about to unleash right now because I've had so much stuff built up on this race that it's unbelievable, and now the safety is off.
Well, we're talking about Congressional District 11.
Yes, sir.
So all you people in 19 that have been up all night worried about, well, is Dave going to kick us? No, not you today. Perhaps in the future, but today we're up in CD 11, which is essentially, now as I understand the area, 70% Valley, 30% Bay Area. Is that population or landmass?
I think that's population.
So it would seem that a Valley candidate would have an advantage.
I would think a Valley candidate would have a huge advantage.
That would be the starting point.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the race we're talking about. In this particular race, however, and you know how I feel about this, I make no apologies for the fact that I hate, despise, detest, loathe, abhor, hate.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Carpetbaggers.
Right.
I hate you.
How about repeat carpetbaggers? Well, I don't know if he's a repeat carpetbagger. How about a repeat candidate who's run 3 times in 2 different states, who's now carpetbagging. Sorry.
Got to make him stop.
I'm going to break everything.
Let me finish my thought on the carpetbagging first. Okay, look. If there's nobody running in a district, that's one thing. But when local people are already running, it's inexcusable. And I'm sorry, I don't really care where you're running. I don't care where race you're in. It's inexcusable. It's unnecessary, and it's knee-culturny, as the Russians would say. It is uncultured. It is a bad idea. And your argument that you have a, quote, right to do something is ludicrous, because having the right to do something does not make it the right thing to do, which is really where we're going to go with this, because I want to talk about a business person has a job, gets fired.
Right.
What do?
Normally you'd look for another job.
Normally you would look for another job.
That's most people.
Most people would look for another job because you need a paycheck.
Right.
So that you don't have to collect
unemployment or welfare.
Is that what our guy did?
Yeah, he collected unemployment insurance. David Harmer, Mr. Conservative, Mr. Reagan, quote unquote. And let me just say one more disclaimer. Let me just say one more disclaimer. Everything I say now and for this entire show, I'm not making any factual claims. I'm not casting any aspersions on anyone. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only, and it's up to the voters and the audience out there to do their own facts and research. And with that, let's continue, sir.
All right, so
now all safeties are off.
And we're not just talking about your average job here. We're not talking about you're working at McDonald's or Wendy's.
Pumping gas, cutting lawns, or doing farming, which is the #1 industry in this district, by the way.
Okay, so what was I doing if I were this candidate, David Harmer?
Well, if I was this candidate, David Harmer, what I was doing was I was a vice president for Washington Mutual that was one of the banks that was at the heart of these bad loans, these subprime loans. Some would say predatory loans.
Predatory loan.
That have basically put this economy, and in some ways the world, in financial turmoil. Okay? Tumult, turmoil, whatever. That has basically now put this Central Valley in complete destruction in terms of home values and stuff like that. Now,
so I was a vice president for this bank.
You were a vice
president of a bank?
I think, excuse me, a first vice president. So you're talking very high up.
Okay, so what does a first vice president of a bank roughly make?
Well, David Harmer has disclosed in his reports that in about a 16-month period of time, just over a year, he made, when you total it all up, in terms of salary and bonuses and severance package, almost $500,000.
That's good work if you can get it.
And that's when everyone else is, you know, a lot of other people are losing their jobs, they're losing their houses, they're getting foreclosed on, they're losing their 401k, they're getting destroyed. This guy's making big money, lottery type money. More money than you and I have. Yeah, absolutely.
I assume. I don't know what you.
No, I mean, there's years I made $500,000. There's years I've lost a lot of money. I can tell you, that period of time, I lost a lot of money, like everybody else almost, except David Harmer.
So he's got a lot of money, loses his job.
Right.
And.
Oh, but hold on. Has a lot of money, loses his job, works for a bank that's pushing subprime loans, stuff like that. That gets bought by another bank that's a Wall Street bank that then gets TARP bailout money, and he's supposed to be Mr. Conservative, and Mr. Reagan has run for Congress before.
All right, I'm with you there.
And then he files for unemployment insurance. Government bailout money, David Harmer files for government money after he made $500,000. Now, it'd be one thing if he was a waitress or a mechanic or someone that needed to feed their family or something like that. It's another thing when you made almost $500,000 when everyone else is getting crushed, when you may have been, some would say, made the problem, right? I mean, that's like BP right now going and filing for some kind of little welfare handout to do another oil drill.
Yeah, we need a tax raise on that. All right, it's JDV, it's Dave. We're on Afternoons Live. Kicking the side of the tires, I guess, if you will. Destroying the conservative myth of at least one candidate today. Maybe more if we get done with this one.
The guy's phony.
Meantime, it's 1:15. Here's Kai with news. That was fun.
Yeah. Now we're getting somewhere.
Guilty to charges of driving while intoxicated after the scene says the doctor was being to a hospital to perform surgery while he was arrested.
Now we're getting somewhere.